Okay, let me begin. Good evening, all of you. Welcome to English coaching class. I'm your English teacher, Sri Ashikur Rahman. And in our last class, we were doing the Keeping Quiet. Okay, Keeping Quiet. The poem name is Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. So today we'll be doing the summary of the chapter and the discussion of question answers and homework I'll be giving for my students. So let's begin the discussion. Students, I won't delay in bringing or discussing some other events. So this is the big, what we can say, way to judge yourself, to make yourself set of your mind by keeping quiet. Okay, today's topic, summary, we are going to discuss, that is keeping quiet, students. So also the same page, keeping quiet, here is it, Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. So this is a big exercise. If you remain quiet, you can solve many problems. So here the poem is taking that oath, or the poet is taking that oath to remain quiet, keeping quiet. Okay. So before going for the beginning of or discussing the chapter or summary session, I would like to request that the new users watching my channel, don't forget to subscribe my channel in the below, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Okay, and don't forget to share your views if at the end the class gets over, and at the end subscribe and thumbs up, like will be a reflect to me, and don't forget to press bell icon. Okay, so let me begin the chapter discussion. This discussion of the chapter, that is Keeping Quiet summary. Look into it. Yeah. Pablo Neruda. This poet is quite different poet, and here the topic. Let us, as students, I won't be discussing much about the poet, but I'll come direct to the gist of the poem. So students, when the poem is written, Keeping Quiet, okay, it's a self-realization. This poem, see, when you can't write a poem until you don't have feelings. Students, I'll tell you the fact, when you don't have feelings, you can't write a poem. You can write a story. You can, having a thought, you can write a story or some narration or essay. But for writing a poem, you must have a feeling for that particular thing. So this is your personal feeling, should be shared in a universal manner. So similar way, Pablo Neruda is remaining quiet, or he is understanding the position, he is realizing the issues, and then writing the poem, making us realize what is needed, what is not. Okay. The poet talks about the need of silence and quiet introspection and importance of quietude and calmness. The poet talks about the need of silence. What is important? The poet talks about the need of silence, or why we need to remain silent. And quiet introspection. Quiet introspection. See, introspection, looking into individual or looking into pros and cons. What is positive, what is negative. Quiet introspection, remaining silent, and self-introspection means you look into yourself. And importance of quietude. Importance of quietude. When you're quiet, and you can think something positive. And calmness. And calmness. When you're in a calm mood, you can think positive. When you're in an angry mood, you can't decide, or you can't get a right attitude, or you can't make a right decision. This is the psychology, this is the research that talks about. So who can take a right decision? When someone is a calm and quiet mood, he or she can take a right decision. Okay, so here the same thing that happens, taking a right decision by remaining quiet. He also talks about creating a mutual understanding. He is also talking about that creating a mutual understanding among human beings. This is what is a theme of the poem. Okay, theme of the poem, that is mutual understanding. He also talks about creating feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. Okay, so this is the theme of the poem. Next, we can talk students here. The 9, the poet asks to keep still and count to 12. Students, I have made you understand in the clear or descriptive analytic view of the poem and the line-wise explanation. 12 signifies what are things it signifies. 12 signifies what? The month, zodiac symbol, the languages we speak. 12 symbolize the clock or hands of the clock, and that poet asked to keep still and count to 12. And even it's saying the count means referring to the number 12. Okay, 1 2 3 4, count to the 12, and 12 is a R representing on the 12, means I'll count up to 12. Okay, so many representations are coming from the, or significance are coming from the number 12. He also asks us to sit still. What is asking? Poet is asking to sit still for a moment. We should not speak any language. We should remain silent. We should be still, and we should not speak any language. We should not move our arms. We should not move our arms. Arms indicate students the power, the superiority, and at the same time the arms indicate the clock, and the clock, that arm movement of arm, it indicate that arms. At the same time, it indicates the arms of our branches we spread into the world and into the depth. These arms indicate that even, and as we have spread everywhere like roots and branch in the earth, the human being have spread everywhere. This spread of arms should stop. Everything, by 12, everywhere on the globe, everyone should stop. Okay, so this is the what the first initiation taken by the poet. It will be a moment of complete silence without rush and worry. Okay, there will be no worry, no rush, no tension, nothing. This would be exotic moment. This would be an exotic moment. This would be an exotic moment. What? How the exotic moment will create excited moment? Okay, how it will be created? Without rush or worry. Okay, without rush, no rush or worry, and with it will be moment of complete silence. When will be complete silence, we can think about rush and worry. Worry, rush indicates students movement of traffic. Rush, we are daily movements, we are running from here and there. So this rush and movement should be stopped. Or worry, we are getting worried about our life. This worry should be stopped. At the same time, it's this connecting to the rush indicate movement of rush indicates again at the same time towards the people go to the work. Work represents students. When you go to the work, industries, the industries should be stopped, and that give worry to attention to the mind. Pollution that is coming from this work. So when we'll stop these all things, we'll get exotic moment. Getting my point, students? And next, what will happen? Then a certain strangeness will prevail. Certain strangers, certainly this will happen, will prevail, which we all enjoy. It will be bliss. It will blissful moment, peaceful moment, happy moment, blessing moment for us. Wow, how? With a sudden change. Sudden change. This exotic moment will come suddenly. Should not be within a moment, or with lots of practice. I will do a 2, 3, 4, 5 months change. No, within sudden change, it will come up. Okay, it will be bliss. Okay, students. Then what is talking about that? The fisherman would not harm the wells on the cold sea. The fisherman would not harm wells on the cold sea. Students, it is representing another thing. Fisherman would not harm the wells on the cold sea. Cold sea in that polar region, fishermen and wells. Wells, it's a what we can say a heavy or the big fish that are not or never caught by fishermen. That are never caught by fishermen. Even the normal time, fishermen won't hunt for that wells, because wells represent the big people of the society. They are never in trouble. Okay, they are never in trouble. See, as students, I am talking about the whales. These whales are representing the bigger people of the society. Those are heavy, having the big image, are having wealthy people. Okay, at the same time, fishermen would not harm the whales on the cold sea. Even in the polar region, these whales are not in a harm state. They're always in the safe state. They're the big people of our society. They are never in any problem. Whatever the problem comes, they are always in safe. Okay. Even the man gathering salt would stop working and look at his hurt hands, reflect at the pain and harm his strenuous task caused him. Okay, this represents salt gatherer, represent the poor people of the society. Those people, students, I'm representing. For their survival, they are going to go to any extent they can go. Who? The salt gatherers, and they represent to the poor people of our society. For their survival, they can go, even they can harm themselves for their survivals. So they can get pain, they can take pain for their survival. Okay, so this is representing the society, how our society is, giving the ideology, giving the information, or citing the informations about the reflecting the man gathering salt. Okay, I hope you're able to understand. Next, all kind of wars must be stopped at once. All kind of wars. The green wars against environment, wars with poisonous gas, firearms must be stopped at once. The poet here is talking about the wars, biological wars. So many different wars are going on around the globe. Okay, so poet want all these wars should be stopped at once. No wars. Okay, and war never is a solution for any problem happening in the world. Never is a solution, never. Okay, never. If you start looking into the history, war is never a solution. We have got lots of destruction. So it is talking about that we must stop the war. And people who are in the time preparing for wars, leaving no survivals behind, out to find the time to wear clothes and walk around with their brothers, sending the message of peace and brotherhood. Just try to understand this line. People who are all the time preparing wars, leaving no survivors. Those people involved in these wars. Okay, those who are indirectly, not directly involved in these wars, leaving no survivals behind. Means at the end of the war, what is the result of the war? No people who fighting in the war is there. All are dead. No, all people are dead. Behind ought to find time to wear clothes. These people, those who represent the war, they are the secret people behind the war. What happened? They come in front right now after the war. And ought to find time to wear clothes and walk around with their brothers, strengthening the message of peace and brotherhood. And now what these people will talk? The peace and brotherhood. And what happened? These people indirectly they are the responsible for war. Okay, you might take the example of what we can say, our big politicians. They are indirectly or directly responsible for whatever is happening in our areas. And what happened at the end? They start talking about showing sympathy when there is a wrong. So this indicates about those people who talk talk about the what back after the event, that peace of brotherhood. But when the event is going on, they will remain silent, or indirectly or directly they are the sole responsible of happening or wrong happenings everywhere. Okay, next, at the same time, the poet causes not to confuse stillness. Yeah, this is one important point. This is one important point, students. The poet's message, poet information should not be taken in a wrong way, students. It should be taken in a right way. You must not get confused with the stillness, remaining silent. You should not, by remaining silent, you should not go into down. You should not surrender yourself. What happened? You're going to do? You must get a power to get active and burst into the world. Burst into the world means, students, you must do something after looking to the wrong deeds what you've done it. You should improve yourself. You must not commit the same error. That is the message of the poet. Remain silent, understand, and come up. Not remain silent and silent forever. Okay, life is an ongoing process and should not be associated with death. Life is an ongoing process. You must continue to live. You must not surrender and die. Die means you should remain silent, and death is the only symbol of silence. When you remain silent, you're going, decaying, and coming to the final end, that is death. And it is to be lived with positive attitude. You must live, and we must live with positive attitude. Must be there with a positive attitude. Okay, students? He does not want us to ruminate over death. We must not want ourselves to ruminate over death. He does not want us to ruminate over that. You must not be over death, or you must not go or influence towards the death. Okay, he wants that it should be an example for us. Those people have committed mistake. So how will be? He's telling them. But if he feels that if for once we do not focus ourselves single-mindedly, our one vision should be there single-mindedly to keep our life moving, but do some introspection or spend some time in silence. We must spend some time in silence, doing nothing. We can understand ourselves better, escape from the threatening call of death. So what is saying? We must intercept ourselves. We should look ourselves, or spend some time in silence, doing nothing. We won't be doing anything. We can understand ourselves better. Escape from threatening calls of death, the approaching death, how our lifestyle and where we are moving, which way we are leading. That is the signal we can get it. Okay. So what the next line is talking, students, to you? The earth can teaches us a lesson how everything comes to a death and comes to life again. How everything there. From where we'll get example? From the past, from the history, from the earth. And earth itself is example. First comes to life again, and those things get and understand and start living your life. Okay, don't follow that tradition. Those have already died and they've committed mistakes. Follow a different path and start living your life. In the same manner, quiet interception can bring all evil thoughts to an end. Bring in a new life of peace and tranquility. What? Bring a new manner or new change to your life, that is peace and tranquility. You remain peace and be in tranquility. Okay, when you're in tranquility, you can go in peace and you can bring change, you can think. Okay, so now the poet will count to 12 and they should keep quiet and he will go. Here students, and even in the poem lines, go is there, and in the summary it is summed up. So just I'm elaborating it. Go represents what he's saying. I am leaving my ego. I am taking the initiation. You also leave the ego. You also take the initiation. Start moving the same path. I'm taking the example. I'm moving it. Come follow what being a one symbol, one nation, one world, same. That is the only flag that will hang over us. That's a symbol of remaining quiet. Okay, so this is all about the poem, students. This is the sum up session where you can understand poem in a very sum up manner. Okay, I hope you must have understood the poem. If there is any doubt right now, you can ask and we'll further proceed for the discussion of the question answers. Yeah, the same we are initiating from the last or middle part of our yes, so no doubt. Okay, thank you. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. The man gathering salts would look at hurt hands. What is fisherman symbolic of? The fisherman symbolizes man's indiscriminate exploitation of nature for his vested interest. One symbolism. Okay, man's vested interest, man is exploiting. And second one, fishermen symbolize. Okay, what we are doing it is that highlighting it. Man's own benefit symbolize man's indiscriminate exploitation of nature for his vested interest. For our vested interest, we exploit the nature even. We also, for our benefit, we also disturb the nature. This is the one symbolism of fisherman, and what I said it, and that's the symbolism of whales and second part. What will happen when fishermen do not harm whales? The whales will be no longer on the verge of extinctions. So they won't be there in the verge of extinction. What will happen when fishermen do not harm Well, this won't get extended. This will remain like that. What has happened to the man gathering salt? What must he do? The man gathering salt has injured his hand. He must take care of his hurt hands. Yeah, definitely they must take care. What would happen in this moment of silence? He will become conscious of harm causing to others and to themselves. What image does the poet create in the last line? He creates the image of incessant suffering, means endless suffering. In this effort to add comfort to his life, he has paid no heed to pain that causes him. There's no option, there's nothing is there that they get the pain. There's no result, that nothing, there's no solution for that. Okay, so poet has been highlighting in the last part, last line, referring to the last line: hurt hands, salt gatherers, poor people, no option, they have to fight for their survival. What I have connected to. Okay, students, I hope the question answers discussions made those stanza more clear. Okay, I hope question answer discussion of that stanza made it more clear about the representation of the fisherman, wells, and salt gatherer. I hope so, students. Let's go to the next part. Perhaps earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later prove to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet, I will go. Okay? Who can teach us? The earth can teach us. Clear? The point is clear to you? What does earth teach us? The earth can teach us how new life emerges from the ash of the death remains. Likewise, quiet interception will enable us to live a life of peace and tranquility. What will enable us? Yes, what will enable us, students? Likewise, quiet interception will enable us to live a life of peace and tranquility. The earth teaches us, and that is what we can do it by quiet interception. Okay. What does the speaker count? Why does the speaker count up to 12? Again, he is doing in the beginning and even in the last part of the poem. In the beginning, and it is repetition. It's done in the last part. It is a part of exercise in meditation. It is part of exercise when you meditate. Okay, remain silent. Okay, this is a part of meditation. All distractions and what digressions are washed. Digressions means the wrong thoughts, distractions and wrong thoughts, whatever they are in our mind, washed away, and man is in a moment of bliss. In a moment of bliss. Okay, get students getting my point? Moment bliss means in a pleasant sound, sophisticated moment, nice moment, sweet moment. We go to a different moment or exotic moment. Okay. Explain. You keep quiet, I will go. The poet wants all to keep quiet. Experience the moment of peace. We must experience the moment of peace. He will go and pass on the message to other group of people, and he will go and pass the message of other group of people. Come on, you join us. The tradition, the poet is saying, he is initiating and others must join. As in the Mahatma Gandhi chapter in Indigo, we have seen it. Mahatma Gandhi is leading and others are joining the session. Okay, similarly. Next, why does Pablo Neruda urge to keep still? Stillness is necessary for reflection and quiet interception. We can hear the voice of a consciousness and thus withdraw ourselves with undesirable action. Under the apparent stillness, there is life justified. The students, you mark it down. This line, you mark it down. And it will help you for your writing exams if you're going to write any exams. Okay, students? So just to mark it down, this lines, I'm underlining it. Under the apparent stillness, there is life. The poet does not want to equate stillness. Means he does not give the information or the affection or intention of to remain still with total inactivity. Okay, his message is not to remain inactive, but to get super active. Okay, super active means you should, after thinking, you should be motivated and to take action and bring change in the society. Under the apparent stillness, there is life. Under the apparent stillness, there is life. You can learn it from the earth. When everything seems dead, the earth still remain alive. Okay, everything seems dead and still earth remain alive. Life on earth goes on under the apparent stillness. This under the apparent stillness, the life goes on still continuous, and that we need to observe, students. Okay, why do men become sad? How can this sadness be overcome? Men fall to understand themselves. Try to mark it down, students. They're always threatening themselves with death. When they do not understand themselves, they become sad. A long silence might interpret this sadness and make them good. So by remaining silent, it will make them to understand their problem, and that will help them to grow and bring change. Okay, students. So these are some questions that I have discussed with you, and these are the questions. Take homework, take screenshot, and do write and answer me back, students. Practice will help you improve, and by this improvement, you can do best when I'll be conducting the exams, or when you'll be writing the exam in school even. Okay, so take the snapshot or the question, screenshot of these questions. Next, this question number 3 and 4 and 5. Then let's come to short question. Okay, the short question and answer for practice. So these are the questions. You take it and definitely go for practice. Definitely go for practice. Okay, students, I hope you're able to understand. Yes, just take it. Take the snapshot and write and send me in WhatsApp. I can look into it and I can share what and how you have done it. Okay, or you can mail me. Better option, you mail me. Okay. Yes, if you'll go, you can practice, you can improve, then you will give the exam, it will be best. Okay, so that's the end of today's class, students. I hope you have enjoyed. Those students, new user observing the class, attending the class, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, and don't forget to press thumbs up to the video and do press bell icon. Share as much as possible. That is the end of it. I'll say you learn, share to others, they can learn. Okay, that's the end of the today's class. Thank you. Bye.